Casino workers, how to identify card counters without counting cards yourself. What is the behavior of card counters? They watch the cards, they vary their bets, they play well, and they make a few unusual plays. How are they different from ordinary players? First of all, card counters observe the other player's cards as well as their own. Note that a skilled card counter doesn't watch the cards as they are dealt out, but instead waits for the other players to act on their hands, so that the watching seems natural. However, ordinary players also watch other players, so this is not a sure sign of a card counter. However, a player who pays no attention at all to other players' cards is not a card counter. Card counters vary their bets according to the count. They bet their personal minimum 85% of the time, and much more the rest of the time. A sudden large increase in bet size suggests a possible card counter. However, a player who always bets the same amount is not a card counter. Card counters play well. They play the basic strategy nearly all the time. They modify the strategy for a few marginal situations. For example, 16 versus dealer 10 or 12 versus dealer 4. They never make big mistakes, for example, hitting heart 14 versus dealer 5, or standing on heart 16 versus dealer 7, or hitting a 2-card 11 versus dealer 8 instead of doubling. A player who makes big mistakes like these is definitely not a card counter. What else? Card counters avoid poor bets, so they never play 6 to 5 games, avoid side bets such as royal match, and they seldom take insurance or even money on a blackjack. A player who plays 6 to 5 games, makes the side bet regularly, or takes even money on a blackjack regularly is not a card counter. Card counters make a few unusual plays. For example, they sometimes insure a lousy hand when they have a large bet out. In deciding whether to take the insurance bet, all they care about is whether there are enough tens remaining in the deck to make the insurance profitable. They do not care at all what kind of hand they hold, blackjack, good, or bad. If the insurance bet favors the customer, there are many tens remaining in the deck, and the card counter typically has a large bet out and will buy insurance, regardless of the hand. All kinds of players insure blackjacks and 20s, but only card counters insure lousy hands. Another unusual play is standing on 16 versus dealer 10 with a large bet out. The basic strategy says to hit, but the difference between standing and hitting is slight. The card counter knows that it's better to stand when there are many tens and few small cards remaining. This is also when the card counter bets more. So having a large bet out and then standing on 16 versus dealer 10, but hitting the same hand with a regular or small bet out suggests a likely card counter. Anyone who makes these plays is probably a card counter. Can you identify card counters because they win? No, they are likely to win only in the long term, like weeks or months of full-time play. In the short term, they win and lose and break even, just like all gamblers. Their long-term win rate is very small compared to their winning and losing streaks. For example, a skilled card counter who can win $10 per hour long-term typically has winning and losing streaks in the thousands. What should you do about card counters? Nothing? Flat bet? Back off? Trespass? It depends. Go on to part 2 for more information.